This is the Milo Sweet Podcast. It's time to get clear on what you want and get there quickly. Tired of being stuck? Ready to overcome? Want to do difficult? No more excuses. Let's start now. Welcome to the show. Hey, before we get started, I need your help. If you like the show, please like, subscribe, review, and share. You really like the show? Want to put your money where your mouth is? Click donate. I would love your support. So perfection is overrated. I think so. I think we live in this world that doesn't admire and celebrate like how we actually are. That's kind of weird to me. That's so weird to me. Like, it's so weird that I can't actually, no, some of y'all can, wake up the way I wake up. Like, if I just, completely just wet my hair, just wake up and go to work. Well, I did that one time and I was called unkempt. It led to HR and some other things. I'm not going to get into it on this show. But the point is, why? I'm tongue-tied because it really frustrates me that we have this goal to be perfect, and first, we're never going to obtain it, and I think it's deceitful. Second, it constantly berates and makes us feel less than when we have so many things about ourselves to be grateful for, to value, to share with other people. So because you're less than, or you feel that way, or the stigma of like not being perfect and not being like, this best version of yourself all the time, it's like, it's weird. It's weird to me. And it makes you feel less than. I actually think that causes anxiety and depression. And that's my view on it. Just because I feel like it might not initially, like when you first see a shiny object, you're like, oh, so pretty. You just see it, you want it. And then over time, if that shiny object is someone's Instagram and they're only selling you their best shots, like how does the perfect life end up divorced? Like instead, I think if you have the real life, then maybe someone could point out and say, hey, that's kind of, kindly. I think you should have discretion on social media. But, maybe you would be able to catch it because you'll watch a video and say, I wonder, that's kind of weird. Or maybe I don't want to post this one because of this, but maybe we need to work on that. I'm not sure. But I guess for me, it's like if I'm living a real life, then my life can be real. And I'm not saying that Instagram or posting videos leads to divorce. I'm not saying that. That would be too basic. However, posting videos leads to divorce. What I mean by that, it's like, it's just the nature of having all these opinions constantly thrown at you. And if not completely, if you're not, first off, people are liking you for your idea of perfection or the perfect version of you, right? And this is not every Instagram, every business. I'm not saying that. Some businesses I've seen that they really roll into just, being authentic. And then I think it's cool to be professional, polished. That's cool. But I don't think you should, what is it called? Like the perfect, like, I saw what was it? Like an article that's like Chloe doesn't look like Chloe. And it's like, if you're changing yourself where you're not even recognizable to people who follow you every day on Instagram, they're not some subtle changes on top of like layers of, I'm just assuming it's layers. Maybe I just don't know how to make my one layer look like that of makeup. So I don't know. I think if you, if you get caught up in that version of perfection and you're getting ratings and views and feedback for that, if you're spending a lot of time on it, like let's just say you spent like 30 minutes a week on that, or an hour or 2 hours a week, I feel like it takes up very little of your life, so the influence or the ability for it to influence you is a little bit less. But most people are not like that. Most people spend hours upon hours a day, and even if they don't spend hours, they spend a lot of time in their mind thinking about it. Not kind of like planning a project. You plan the project, it's over. When you move on, you're moved on because it's over. It's more like, it's some sort of gratification, not a normal gratification, but it starts to feed like, an inner, beast or something. Just something that it's like that if you don't do it, you don't feel right. And it becomes addictive, I think, too. And then after a while, if you putting yourself on this platform, it's very hard, I would say, to be vulnerable then. And even brands that build themselves off being vulnerable, it's like, I think it's cool, but I also think it's a fine line. You really need to be thoughtful. Like, I just think that's important because it's not that you shouldn't say what's on your mind, because I do that. It's not that you shouldn't be vulnerable, because I do that. But I think you should have goals or results on what you want to accomplish. And it can just be having a moment of transparency or something like that. But I definitely think discretion and really thinking like, this is forever. So it's just like you wouldn't put like tattoos everywhere, right? Like tatted up my kids, tatted up my newborn. Like, it's forever. So you kind of, think about it a bit. I know we don't view technology like that, but it is forever. Because even now, like 2020 showed me, people will dig up your past. Like, I thought they would dig it up before, but like they will dig it up, and it's fine. But it's just like, I want to make sure it's things I want to, see or be comfortable dealing with, 10 years from now. And, I definitely expect to grow and develop. So I might see something 10 years from now that I'm like, I said that. Sometimes I say things and I kind of forget that I said them because I really move on with my life. I live light. So I'm not saying that, you're going to hold it dear forever. But I think what perfection does is it makes you think you're someone that you're not. And you're liked for someone that you're not. And I think the other part with perfection is what people like. So if you show them maybe a part of you that might not work so well, you hesitate. And so I think it's a dangerous game. And I honestly think it's okay. Okay. So I like the ideas when they have like these stretch mark. Is it stretch marks? Yeah, okay, I couldn't remember the term. Okay, when they have like those campaigns, or like I nursed my baby campaign, or this is what a natural birth looks like. Although, I love the intent. I like that it's fostering just real. Sometimes for me, like especially the ones that have like bodily fluids, it's a little too much for me. But I like the messaging behind it, or, for me, it's like, I don't, they'll have like the body weight campaigns, and I want to say I saw one where it was like, people were mostly naked and they were doing like some kind of, I don't know, like jumping jack, or I don't remember it. It was a while ago, and I thought, I don't care what size you're. I don't want to know that. That's me. So it's equal opportunity, disqualifier, discriminator in that case. There's no favorites. I just don't want to know that. I like the days when you had to like meet someone to know what their body looked like. Like I had to actually go to the beach with you. I actually don't like seeing beach photos when I'm not at the beach with you. I don't really care. Or I don't like knowing you like that. I don't know. And then it's like your body's glistening. It just makes me feel like, for who? That's for me? Like, you don't even know me. You don't even know what I like. I like one thing. No, I'm just kidding. It just felt like, for me, I just like getting to know people. So I feel like showing skin is a way to get to know someone. And I feel like I should be invited into that. That's just me. I think this sounds kind of weird because I just realized, like, I'm just talking about in general, like, we see naked bodies all the time on Instagram or almost. I mean, I've never seen so many workout videos where I'm like, are you working out in a thong? I mean, I'm questioning it. Or is that like a glam shot with, like, could I not see your butt in those skin tight leggings? I don't know. Sometimes I just wonder, it's like, who is that for me? Because I don't really need to know that to eat healthy. I just was trying to, get a little motivation. You got a nice shape. I just want to get a little motivated. But seeing your bare butt, it doesn't motivate me. Now, for some of y'all, I know what y'all into. You like it. You love it. Give me another one. Oh yeah, show me the other angle. You're nasty. No, I'm just kidding. So, I think here's a little test I give myself for if I'm like focusing on perfection too much is, do I complain about myself as soon as I look in the mirror? Or am I grateful for the way that I look, do I want to hide every imperfection? Do I not want to be authentic with myself in the moment? Like, there's times people have caught me, when I didn't want to be caught. You just run a quick little errand. You don't plan on seeing anybody. And it's like, am I okay with myself in those scenarios? Am I kind and courteous? I'm not really a small talk kind of person, so it's not anything personal if I don't like small talk forever. But do I critique my work and like continue to critique it too much? It's cool to critique it and, give it a glance over, but I think done is better than perfect. Done is better. Done. Did you get it done? Did you? And then I also notice how I treat other people. Do I as soon as I meet someone, am I looking at what they should change, or am I admiring what they did do right? Because how you treat people, it's how you're treating yourself. And then how much time do I spend with people that are promoting perfectionism to me? They don't say that they're promoting it. It's just living my life. I'm just so grateful for morning glow. I am so happy that I'm in Bermuda. So fortunate, hashtags, I have a private island. They're not saying that. Like, I'm not mad if you have a private island. Just invite your girl Mila, right? Totally not upset. But it's the vibe you get. It's like, I'm just hashtag humble. It's like, no. Just got a new Gucci bag. Oh my gosh, no. It never goes on the table. Hang it up. It's like, it's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. So don't read too deep into that. I'm saying the vibe you get from it, where it's like my bag, my Goodwill bag isn't good enough anymore. It's like, can I celebrate their Gucci bag? That's another thing perfectionism does, is it makes you jealous. I think so. Because you no longer, you're jealous of okay, bear with me here. So one time I took a picture and it was like really pretty, and I don't always take pretty pictures. It's just like something I'm not the best at. And I was like, oh my gosh. And anytime I took a picture, I compared it to that picture. That's a normal thing, nothing normal. But it got obsessive where it was like, oh my gosh, why can't I take this picture? Blah, 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 blah. I don't understand it. Da, da, da. Why can't I just look like this? Why can't I glow? Something's wrong with me. My skin's not this. Blah, blah, blah. And then I just realized was like, what's the goal of the picture? Oh, the picture is just to help me with something, a project I was working on. And I was like, okay, does it accomplish that? And I was like, yeah, would it hurt any sales or anything? I don't think so. It's actually me. So, and if it's a bad picture and that's all I know how to take at that moment, it's just a bad picture. We all have them. We all have them. We all have them. And I think that kind of let me know, okay, that's I kind of started being jealous of my other picture, of the other version of myself. And I think that's kind of weird. So I think watch out for that, because it's an undercurrent that you have that you don't really know. And then you'll start to judge yourself when other people get stuff. The first thing you'll think is like, why didn't I get that? Or how did I? I'm not usually jealous of other people. I'm usually more hard on myself. And for me, being around things that are super perfect, I can start to become harder on myself. And I can be hard on other people, but it's not because I'm comparing myself to them. It's just simply because I'm hard on myself. Do you feel like the perfection bug has bitten you? What signs do you have in your life that show you that? I would love to know. And what do you think you can do? For me, I just can't be on social media. It's not just about perfection. It's about some other things. I'll get into that on another episode. And I also feel like I have to really focus on what is good. Because naturally my personality is a problem solver. So I look for things to solve. I look for solutions. If you're not careful and you let the perfection bug bite you, you'll start finding that in other people. And you'll start finding it in their mannerisms. And it's like very unpleasant to be around. Yes, you can be unpleasant to be around too. That's okay. It's just something to be aware of and to fix. And I think it's a good thing to be aware of. Like, I know it. I can see when it's happening. And a lot of times it's just me not focusing on what has worked, what is good, what does exist, what is valuable, what is my hope, what things I'm grateful for, what things I admire, what things am I enjoying. It's just really focusing on those things, because that actually makes the journey beautiful. Yes. All right. So if you've been bitten by the perfection bug, I want you first to identify if you have, and basically you'll find yourself being jealous, discontent. Discontent just means like you're just never happy. Like somebody gives you something nice and you just find a reason. You always find a reason to mope. You whine and just like that. Yeah. So and you're, you think you have a reason. You may have one sometimes, but really it's like, okay. So if you have been bitten by, also you're constantly comparing yourself to someone else. You're constantly comparing yourself to yourself, not in the healthy way that's like, hey, I did this. I wonder if I could learn this and apply and be a little bit better at this. But it's like this, it's not perfect until you can do all these things. You don't enjoy the journey at all. You don't just enjoy just the being. And if you have, then I think, and you can't you can't just finish, like, okay, so another symptom of perfectionism is you have to finish everything you start like immediately. And you have to do it exactly the way it's outlined. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with following rules. I think it's good and it's necessary. But I think it's like life isn't like that sometimes. And sometimes it's just do what you can. Sometimes that's the way. There are going to be stages of life. It's just whatever you can do today. If you do something today, something meaningful, something valuable, you will move forward. And a year from now, you would have made it through. That's what my 2020 was. I can't do what I want to do. Can't do what I've known to do. I just have to do something that moves me forward. So when I get to where I'm supposed to be in 2021, I know that I'm ready. Or that I've been doing things to get ready. It might be a learning curve, but I feel like I can do it. So perfectionism will take that away from you. It will make you feel like you can't do something for, 20 minutes when you're like, well, it says I should spend 4 hours a day. It's like, okay, but you can't do that. You just can't do that. So just own it. Fail at it, and own the 20% or the 20 minutes and succeed at that. Okay? This is much longer than I thought, but this was really on my heart because I feel like if we could just focus on like not being perfect, even like a perfect Republican, Democrat, socialist, communist, whatever. It's like we're so focused on these perfection or ideals that it's like, it's not realistic. Different conversation for a different day. But I just don't like it at all. And it stops us from enjoying each other and from enjoying what we learn from our flaws and who we are and what other people bring to the table. I do believe in discipline. That's different to me. It's not perfection. It's basically consistency. But consistency has flaws and failures. Definitely it does. So if you find yourself bitten by the perfectionist bug, I think for me, something that has helped me is the first thing I do. Just focus on the first thing. I don't really focus on anything after that, because sometimes that's all you need to do is have the habit of the first thing. Is the first thing I see someone, think something nice, say something nice. I think I got this wording from Laura Morgan on, she did a previous episode. I'm not sure we talked about it on this episode, but I want to say we did a recording with that. But when I see someone, I think of something nice. I even compliment them in my head. And then I think of something I'm grateful for our interaction, or this could even be at the store. Before, like, it was like super cool to like say that, you know, you love Black people. You know what I mean? 2020 does do some crazy things. Well, before it was cool, something that I did do like with my kids, because I live in a predominantly white area, is that anytime I would see someone of color, I would compliment something about them that wasn't just their appearance. It could be, oh wow, I really like the way your kids smile when they look up at you. Just different things that I felt like I wanted to come against stereotypes for my kids, and I wanted my kids to see the beauty in their culture wherever they were, whoever they could see, that they saw something beautiful in them, because I thought the world is going to show you all these negative things about Black people, and you're going to have to associate that with yourself. And I want to give them all these beautiful nuggets, from the way they style their hair, to the way they interact with the cashier, to the outfit that they picked out, to the way they talk to their kids, to, you know, if I see them reading a label, I'm like, that's so cool that you're reading a label. You must be, you know, thinking about your health. It's pointing these things out, because it really does make a difference in how my kids, how I see myself. And no, not everybody loved that. Some people were like, that's weird. No, thank you. Yeah. But the point wasn't that. The point was like to have the habit. So consistently, are you saying something nice? Think about your first thought and then just replace it. And when you hear it, just get in the habit of replacing it. It doesn't have to be loud. If you want to, you can be loud. But like if I see my kids and the first thing I thought was, I think, wow, I'm so glad I get to be your mom. I'm so glad I get to wake up with you. And I'm so glad, you know, that I get to be here when you wake up. That I'm here, that I get to see what that looks like. That I get to be the start to your day. And yeah, that sounds really cheesy, but I really meant it, and I still mean it. And that process really helps. Now, we'll get to this in another episode. It's how you end your night too, because like how you end your night is how you wake up. So like that's like the biggest key in how like my day unfolds. It's like how I'm ending the night before to how I'm waking up. All right, that is all for me right now. I want you to be encouraged to feel good about yourself and how you're made, and your ideas and your offering, and just who you are, just to be okay with that, and think about all the good things that you have, things that make you unique and special, because that is important. And lean into that. Even your flaws and your mistakes. That's why I love when I talk to older people, and the way they tell their stories of their mistakes and what happened. It's like, I made it, and I just love that, because they own it, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I would never trade it. Like this one girl, I'm not saying you should get married 3 times, but she got married 3 times, and the way she talked about her other 2 husbands was still very respectable. But she just was like, I learned this, and I learned that, and I overcame this, and when I got to my 3rd one, 3rd time's a charm, she was, I don't know, I was all the way, you know, into that, because I thought, you know, she is in a place where she's okay with herself. I want that. I want that for myself. So, all right. That's it. That's really it. This episode is sponsored by howtohomeschoolfromtheheart.com. Go to www.howtohomeschoolfromtheheart.com and stop crying. Get empowered. Get some clarity. Let's go. All right, that's another episode in the books. Hello? I said it's over. Why are you still listening? Like, seriously, the episode is over. If you're still listening right now, you know what? You're probably a chronic procrastinator. Guess what? I'm still listening too. Come on, for real, seriously. We gotta go do something productive. No, like for real. No, for real. Okay. You can keep listening.